Hey YouTube, my name is Tariq, and if you're new here, I'm a music photographer and videographer based out of Portland, Oregon. In today's video, we're going to talk about what to look for when you're capturing footage for a festival aftermovie. All of my tips and tricks come directly from my experience of being on the aftermovie team for Above and Beyond's Group Therapy Weekender. I'll also be sharing a lot of the footage I captured from that festival. And keep in mind that each clip can easily fall into multiple categories that we'll be discussing. And lastly, on the screen now are all the settings that I use to capture every festival clip that you'll see in this video, all shot on a Sony a7S III. Now let's get started. The first item on our list on what to include in your aftermovie is capturing those establishing shots. And this includes capturing artist and festival branding, which we'll discuss here in a second. Simply put, establishing shots are the backbone of your aftermovie. No pun intended, but they really set the stage for your video by highlighting the festival's atmosphere. Now, most of the aftermovie team, including myself, were on camera ops, but a huge part of this category specifically comes from drone footage for those breathtaking establishing aerial shots, especially at a venue like the Gorge Amphitheater. But back on the ground level, it's still important to make sure you capture those wide shots from behind the crowd. And when you're in the pit, don't be afraid to get a quick pan of the entire area to showcase the scale of it all. In the likely event that merch is being sold, 100% capture that as well. And of course, any and all of the art installations that you come across. This shot of the ribbons blowing in the wind may seem trivial, but this shot actually made it into the official aftermovie. You wouldn't normally expect this very minimal, low energy establishing shot to be used in a festival aftermovie, and you'd be right in most cases. But in this case, it directly touches on Above and Beyond's branding for their album titled Group Therapy, which the whole festival is based on. In the EDM photography video on my channel, my first tip literally discusses doing your research about your client beforehand. And this is a great example of that, which is why whenever I saw any branding that had to do with Above and Beyond, Anjuna Beats, or the festival itself, I made sure to capture it. These establishing visuals act as the perfect transitions that help the viewers connect with the festival's scale, beauty, and community. And before we move on to the next tip, I want you to know that everything I just mentioned is barely scratching the surface of what can be considered an establishing shot. So trust your instincts while you're out there filming. Even if what's in front of you doesn't seem captivating at first, envision how it can push the story forward in the final edit. Second on the list is the biggest and most important tip by far, capturing the guest experience. Festivals are much more than just music, and it will be your job to capture that. Capturing the guest experience is inherently a strategic business move that builds brand value, boosts ticket sales for future festivals, and positions the festival as a must-attend event in the minds of the target audience, aka the aftermovie viewers. And when you're wandering throughout the festival grounds, especially at peak times, you'll quickly realize that there is a new guest experience story in every direction that you look. Here are some noteworthy shots and moments that I captured that you can use as examples or inspiration. A group of friends posing for a photo, excited for the weekend ahead. Sincere, unscripted moments. A festival attendee dancing her heart out. The hardcore fans in the front row. The anticipation and excitement as attendees enter the festival grounds for the first time. Friends with matching outfits who are clearly ready to be on camera. And on that note, anyone in any sort of unique outfit as well. And of course, epic moments where the guest experience and music collide. It's these moments that make your aftermovie come alive and resonate with your audience. And honestly, the guest experience category is so important that tip number 3 is an extension of it, capturing those emotional moments. Everything that I just mentioned in tip number 2 applies here too, but this time you'll be actively seeking out festival goers' stories that resonate emotionally. Capture friends hugging, couples creating memories, and even those quiet, reflective moments when someone's absorbing the music. To find these moments, be approachable, empathetic, and non-disruptive, and let people share their experiences with you. I was even lucky enough to capture a marriage proposal on the first day of the fest. Now that we've discussed the most important parts that make festivals so special with tips 2 and 3, it's time to shift our focus to another important part of the festival experience, the heart-pounding performances by the artists themselves. Whether you have stage access or not, when filming an aftermovie, you need to focus on those epic moments when the crowd is fully engaged and the artist is in their element. And if you're tasked with only capturing after-movie footage and not raw clips of an artist, you don't necessarily have to worry about audio as much, since an after-movie generally has a song playing over the footage. Same as before, here are some noteworthy shots that I captured that you can use as examples or inspiration. The artists vibing and having a good time on stage, their infectious energy and enthusiasm as they perform, radiating their passion for the music. Capture audience reactions with the artist in frame. And on the same note, capture wide shots to showcase the massive crowd. Switch things up by getting a close-up of the artist with a telephoto lens. This is a completely juxtaposed and intimate look at an EDM DJ, something you don't see often and can easily be utilized for an aftermovie. Continuing with the unique compositions and angles, don't be afraid to try out new and visually striking compositions. And lastly, production highlights. If you know Above and Beyond, you know one of their gimmicks is typing heartfelt and motivational messages on screen in real time. This coincides with the branding tip I mentioned earlier. If the artist that you're filming has a gimmick like this, make absolutely sure that you're capturing it. The diversity in shots, angles, and artists themselves will allow your aftermovie viewers the opportunity to fully immerse themselves in the beautiful, intense, yet organized chaos that is a music festival. And now, saving my best tip for last. Stage your shots. You're going to save so much time simply asking people to pose or dance for the camera instead of waiting for the magic to happen. And when you watch a fully edited aftermovie as a viewer, it's really difficult to even notice. I mean, a shot like this is obviously staged. They were already excited coming in, but I told them to cheer and face the camera. But this shot is staged too. And even this. I'm the only one walking through the human tunnel right now. I don't even think the gates were open yet. Would you believe me if I said these shots were staged as well? The idea here is that you don't want to run around waiting for a cool moment to happen when you can save so much time by simply staging it yourself. You're already going to be at a calorie deficit for the entirety of the festival, especially if it's during the summer. So work smarter, not harder, and stage your shots if the opportunity arises. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. More importantly, I hope you gained value from it. And if I can leave you with one last tidbit about this topic, it's not just about filming what's right in front of you. It's about capturing a festival's soul and essence. Walk straight into the crowd, explore all of the various activities taking place, and always be on the lookout for those magical, yet epic moments that will make your aftermovie unforgettable.